So when people ask me about Beacon, I find it hard to explain, especially in 7 minutes. Beacon is an enterprise innovation platform, but what does that mean? I could talk about dependency graphs or the integrated data fabric or the SDK, but that's too abstract for most people. So today, as we show you Beacon, I'd like to spend some time to explain why we do what we do, and I'll touch a bit on our philosophy in hopes of giving you a glimpse of what we're about. So let's kick it off by showing you a feature we call Grommet.
So here, we have the Beacon IDE with two simple programs written in the Python programming language. In the first tab, I have the normal adder, where we have a function C defined as the sum of two other functions A and B. In the second tab, we have the same program, but with a few decorations to turn on Grommet. Grommet is a Beacon magic that enables dependency graph in programs. Now let's see what we mean by dependency graphs and what it adds. So let me first execute normal adder, where I'm going to run the function C, very simple function, a couple of times. Here, you can see the results. As you can expect, in both cases, the functions C, A, and B are executed. Exact same calculation, same result. Now let's contrast the result with what Grommet adder does. First time around, it's pretty much the same. Everything is calculated. In the second time, none of them are calculated at all. It just returns the result 3. Now, let's think for a moment what happened. Grommet actually created a dependency graph for the computation. It figured out that C is dependent on A and B, and A and B are not dependent on anything else. So, second time around, since nothing has changed, no calculation needs to be done. Now, this is a very simple example, but a very powerful concept that enables high-performance computing.
So that was a bit esoteric, right? As Shabu mentioned, Grommet is a way to describe a dependency graphs. So it captures the dependencies between the various steps of a computation. So again, C depends on A and B, right? So you could think of Grommet as a more rigorous version of a spreadsheet. I mean, you're probably thinking, why do I want a complicated spreadsheet, right? Is it Excel good enough? To answer that question, let me talk about our philosophy. They call engineering a discipline because it takes discipline to be a good engineer. Just like it takes discipline to be a good athlete. And discipline sometimes means doing something that's not intuitive. I mean, it's not natural to keep training in the way that top athletes do, right? And in the same way, it's not natural for engineers like us to think of calculations as dependency graphs. But when you start talking about doing 23 billion price calculations daily across 2.8 million positions with 500,000 different market scenarios, with hundreds of stress tests, you need this kind of discipline. And this is what you need if you want to get serious about risk management, because not having it can be fatal for a company. The global financial crisis of 2008 is a good reminder of that. So that's why we came up with Grommet. But Grommet's just one feature of Beacon. Remember, Beacon is an enterprise innovation platform. So there's a famous article in the Wall Street Journal about how Goldman Sachs developed a technology called SecDB and how it's their secret sauce. So the concepts and philosophy behind what powers SecDB and Grommet has a common lineage. That's because we built those technologies in our previous lives. So that means if you buy Beacon, you're getting the secret sauce, right? Not really, right? In our view, the secret sauce isn't the tech. The Big Bang's secret is how they leverage these technologies to create a platform to empower its people and its businesses. It's about how the platform made it possible for its salespeople, the traders, and the quants to work seamlessly to arrive at the best solution for their clients. At Beacon, we believe the single most important asset of a company is the people. And you get the most out of your people by creating an environment that allows them to have rich and meaningful interactions among themselves. I mean, that's why companies spend millions of dollars every year trying to create the perfect office layout, right? So that the people can be the most productive. And in the same way, your people deserve a software platform that minimizes organizational frictions and silos, not increase it. The people deserve a platform that nurtures the culture of experimentation so that they feel empowered to try out new things, and they should be allowed to wrap these ideas into apps and services so that they can best serve their clients. That's what drives innovation, right? This is the thinking that permeates throughout the platform. So let's see how this might work in the context of an investment bank. So you're a trader at some bank and you have an idea for a strategy that you want to backtest. With Beacon, you can make the Backtester app and the strategy in a matter of days. So Shabu is going to drive the demo while I'm talking, so pay attention to both of us. So here's the Backtester app that you can make in a matter of days using Beacon. And now let's say your sales department wants to analyze the correlation between your backtested P&L and the underlying index so that they can go pitch the trade idea to their clients. So that's easy as well. Your salespeople can just pull up the results of the backtest into Beacon's built-in plotting app and overlay it with insights from their perspective. Right. Now, let's say your research department wants to further analyze your strategy so that it could optimize it and benchmark it for alpha harvesting purposes. They could easily pull up the same data set in Jupyter Notebook to do that research. And they could even create metrics based on the benchmark to hand off to management. And now your management team wants some sort of a dashboard so they could track the performance based on the metrics. With Beacon, you could easily do that as well. Behind me, you could see Shambu showing off how easy it is to integrate Beacon with open source data visualization packages like Superset. So now let's say your team decides that it should roll out your application to the clients. With Beacon, you could instantly deploy your applications over the cloud. Shambu, can you show us how this works?
Sure. So here, I'm working on a very simple option premium calculator. So this is my development environment, and it just comes up in my development environment, fine. So I want my end users to start using it. Show you how easy it is to make this application appear in the Beacon application launcher. I would like to name it something that starts with FIPC. Currently, as you can see, there are no applications with this name. Now in Beacon, to deploy this application to production, all you need to do is execute this simple program, and if we refresh it, here you have the application right away. And
we've shown you how Beacon enabled the various departments at an investment bank work in perfect harmony. Notice how all the apps worked seamlessly together to match the team's workflow. That's because of the built-in data fabrics and features and functionalities I'd love to tell you more about, but we're out of time. The bottom line here is that Beacon allows you to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to innovation. That's why we call Beacon an enterprise innovation platform. So if you would like the hardest innovation at your company, come talk to us. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Leo and Shambu.